Hello everyone, Charles Watts here. Welcome to the GTEC Stadium where it is very, very cold here in West London, as you can see. But Arsenal have just sealed a dramatic late 1-0 win against Brentford thanks to Kai Havertz's injury time, last minute winner getting on the end of Bukayo Saka's cross to head home to give Arsenal a 1-0 win that for pretty much the whole game looked like was never ever going to come. It wasn't the greatest of games. It all looked like it was drifting towards an inevitable goalless draw. And then Kai Havertz finally has his big moment. The one I think we were all been waiting for since he made that move from Chelsea in the summer. One that he certainly will have been waiting for since he made the move across London. And what a goal it was. What a time to do it. It sent Arsenal top of the Premier League for the first time this season after the earlier draw between Manchester City and Liverpool. Arsenal arrived here knowing a victory would send them to the top of the table. It looked for a long time like they weren't going to get that win. They were pushing, but without really ever troubling Brentford, who were very, very solid, very compact. Looked like they were going to get the draw, but then Kai Havertz on for the final 10 minutes, sent on by Mikel Arteta to replace Gabriel Martinelli, who really struggled, looked very, very jaded, Martinelli in the game. Mikel Arteta sending on Kai Havertz, Leandro Trossard going out to the left, and then it was Havertz popping up at the back post with that kind of move that I think we've all been waiting to see really from Havertz. When he signed, we all talked about it, thought that was a tactic that Arsenal were going to really look to exploit from him. We saw it in pre-season when he scored a couple of goals, drifting in at the back post, getting on the end of crosses, but we just haven't seen it so far since the season started. But he did it today, and he did it very, very well. Bukayo Saka had been largely frustrating during the game. He was constantly being doubled up on by the Brentford defenders, who kept him under wraps for large periods. The one real moment of quality that Saka produced, cutting in from the right, sending that ball into the back stick. It went over Eddie Nketiah's head, but there was Kai Havertz coming in, heading in into the net. It looked like it went through the goalkeeper's legs, sparking wild scenes in front of the away end at the end of the game. Kai Havertz lapping up the applause and the chants from the away end. At full time, Mikel Arteta dragged him. I've got a video of it. You see it on my social media. If you haven't, I've posted it up there. Mikel Arteta literally grabbing him by the neck and dragging him over to the away end to celebrate in front of them. He knew what a big moment this was for Kai Havertz. His teammates knew what a big moment it was for Kai Havertz, and it was certainly a huge moment for Arsenal. They weren't at their best. We've said that many a times this season in terms of their attacking threat. They looked jaded. Some of the players looked very, very tired. Unsurprisingly, Gabriel Jesus played for 65 minutes before he went off. He had one big chance in the first half when he headed straight at the goalkeeper. Trossard then scored the rebound. Looked like that was 1-0, but it was ruled out for VAR, just marginally offside. But to be honest, Jesus should have scored the header in the first place, and then that would have all been kind of a moot point. But he did look jaded, I thought, Gabriel Jesus. No surprise, given he hasn't played for Arsenal for a month, and he's gone over to South America, played 90 minutes for Brazil, and then came in and played 65 minutes. Martinelli looked tired as well, and I thought Brentford defended really well. They doubled up, as I said, on the fullbacks doubled up. The midfielders dropped in and doubled up whenever Saka or Martinelli had the ball. The rare times they had space, and dealt with Arsenal pretty well. I think Trossard was the one who looked the most likely to break the deadlock. He had two good chances in the first half, which he put over. Like I said, he scored the header, which was later ruled out by offside. But as this second half drifted on, it looked like 0-0 was the most likely result. Brentford rarely threatened. When they did, it was kind of Arsenal's own doing. Aaron Ramsdale in, of course, for David Raya today, looked very nervous early on in the first half, got himself in an almighty mess. And brilliant goal line clearance from Declan Rice. He read the situation, got back after Ramsdale basically gifted in Mbeumo what looked like a certain goal. Declan Rice clearing it off the line. So that was a nervy moment for Arsenal. They had another one in the second half. Zinchenko, who I thought was excellent, actually. Zinchenko, both him and Tomiyasu, very good. Brilliant goal line clearance from him to get back and deny Neil Maupay, which was a delight. I think every Arsenal fan would have been bad enough had Brentford scored, but it would be even worse if it was Neil Maupay who got it. But it was brilliant clearance from Zinchenko, who had a very good game. Those were Brentford's two best moments. For Arsenal, if anyone was going to win it, it was probably going to be Arsenal. But I have to say, 0-0 looked by far and away the most likely result. It's still Kai Havertz, who is right out there now. I'm watching him and Reece Nelson doing a little warm down with the substitutes until he popped up for his big moment and gave Arsenal the win that sent them to the top of the Premier League. Right, player ratings time. Okay, so on Aaron Ramsdale, like I said, there was a lot of spotlight on Aaron, given he was in for David Raya, given the fact that obviously this is at Brentford and the Brentford fans were reminding Aaron Ramsdale all day long about the fact that David Raya was now ahead of him, and he looked really nervy in the first half. The incident when he gifted the ball to Mbeumo, there was another one when he tried to throw the ball out and he got that all wrong, so bounced it into the ground. Second half, he was much better. Ramsdale, he looked much more assured. He settled into things, was very good with the ball at his feet. He claim crosses as well. So fair play to Ramsdale. I gave him a 5 out of 10 in the end. You know, it looked at half time like he was heading for a sort of 3 out of 10 type performance, but he did pick it up. You know, maybe even deserved a 6 out of 10 by the end, but I've given him a 5. Tomiyasu, I thought was excellent at fullback, playing in place of Ben White. I gave him a 7 out of 10. Saliba and Gabriel, I gave 7s as well. And I gave Zinchenko an 8. It's notched him up a mark for that goal line clearance from Neil Maupay. It was a really excellent clearance. It looked like it was a goal, to be honest, and he somehow got his foot out and knocked it away. So Zinchenko actually gave my man of the match. I gave him 8 out of 10. Midfield, Declan Rice, another excellent performance from him. Gave him a 7, just a typical Declan Rice performance. Really, like I said, that one brilliant moment in the first half where he stopped a certain goal. Really good awareness to get back on the line and block that shot. So I gave him a 7. Odegaard, disappointing from Odegaard. First game in a long time, of course, so you have to give him that, but it's just never really made any sort of impact. Couldn't get into it. I gave him a 5. Trossard, I gave a 6. Like I said, he looked probably the most likely to break the deadlock at times, but he was playing in the left 8 role. It was an attacking lineup for Mikel Arteta with Trossard and Odegaard ahead of Declan Rice. And on paper, obviously, it looks attacking, it looked exciting, but it kind of was a little bit disjointed. I think didn't really work, although Brentford barely gave Arsenal any space to really attack and look at their fluid best. I gave Trossard a 6. Going forward, I gave Saka a 6. He was on for a 5, but he produced that moment of quality with that really good cross in for the winner. So I gave him a 6. Jesus and Martinelli gave a 5 to both of them. Very jaded, didn't really do too much. Like I said, Jesus really should have scored in the first half with that header that he put straight at the goalkeeper. In terms of the substitutes, Nketiah came on, had one chance he put straight at the keeper, but he didn't really make much of an impact. Gave him a 5. Kai Havertz, got to give a 7 out of 10. Came on, scored the winner. Didn't really do anything else, but he didn't need to. That was a big moment. That was his big moment and Arsenal's big moment. So gave him a 7. Jorginho and Ben White came on right at the end, just after Arsenal had scored, to see the game out. And they did that, and they did that very well to get Arsenal the win that they came here to get. And they got it. It wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't fluent. They're going to have to play better than this. And we've said it all season, haven't we? They're going to have to keep playing better if they want to achieve what they want to achieve this season. But the fact is, right now, as we head towards December, they are top of the Premier League and they haven't gotten it close to their best football yet. And that has to be looked at as a really positive sign. You know, last season, they were riding a crested wave at this stage last season, and you kind of felt it was almost impossible to continue that kind of momentum. This season is very different. They're not playing at their best, but they're grinding out wins. They're keeping clean sheets. They're not giving away goals, and they're getting wins. They're finding a way to get over the line. They did that today. They got the 3 points they needed, and right now they're sitting at the top of the Premier League. It's finished here in West London. Brentford 0, Arsenal 1.